No one talks much about him. His name appears only a few times, but what happened to Enoch is one of the most mysterious, profound, and unsettling events in the entire Bible. Because he did not die, he simply disappeared. And this is not a legend. It is written. Before the flood, before the ark, before Noah was known, the world was already in decline. Violence was increasing. Corruption was spreading. The hearts of men were drifting farther from God day by day. But in the middle of a lost generation, there was a man who chose to walk in the opposite direction. His name was Enoch. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 5 that Enoch lived 65 years and became the father of Methuselah. After that, something changed. The text does not explain what happened, but from that moment on, Enoch began to walk with God. Not visit God, not talk about God, walk with God. To walk with God means intimacy. It means consistency. It means living every step aware of the divine presence. Enoch did not live a temple faith, but a daily, silent, and deep faith. While the world was corrupting itself, Enoch was being sanctified. The Bible repeats something rare. Enoch walked with God. It says this about almost no one, not about kings, not about famous prophets, not about great leaders, but it says it about Enoch. 3 words that change everything. Enoch lived 300 years walking with God, 3 centuries living righteously in a world that chose sin, 3 centuries listening, obeying, and remaining faithful. And that came at a cost, because walking with God has never been easy. The book of Jude reveals something that almost no one notices. Enoch was not only a righteous man, he was a preacher of truth. He prophesied against the ungodly, exposed sin, and announced the judgment that was coming. In a generation that hated the truth, Enoch spoke in the name of God. Here is the most ignored detail. Enoch lived before the law, before the commandments, before the prophets. Even so, he chose to live in holiness. This shows that the problem was never a lack of instruction, but always a lack of decision. While others sought power, Enoch sought presence. While others accumulated wealth, Enoch accumulated intimacy. While the world was sinking, Enoch was rising spiritually. Until one day, something happened. Genesis 5:24 breaks human logic. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. No struggle, no disease, no funeral, no grave. God simply took him. The Bible does not say how, it does not explain when, it does not describe the moment. It only states one shocking truth. Enoch did not die. Since Adam, everyone died. Kings died, prophets died, strong men died. But Enoch did not. God decided to interrupt the natural cycle of death. Hebrews explains why. By faith, Enoch was taken away so that he did not see death. It was not by works, not by status. It was by faith, a living, practiced, consistent faith. Enoch pleased God, and that is extremely rare. The Bible says that without faith it is impossible to please God. But Enoch lived in such a way that he pleased him so deeply that God took him. Many scholars believe Enoch saw things no other man saw. The apocryphal book attributed to him describes visions of heaven, angels, judgment, and the end of times. Even though it is not canonical, this reinforces one truth. Enoch is always associated with mystery and revelation. Enoch did not live for this world. He lived for eternity. That is why he did not remain here. His story is not about escaping death, but about how to live before it. Enoch was not taken by accident. He was prepared. God did not take Enoch suddenly. He walked with him for years, for decades, for centuries. The taking was only the result of an aligned life. And here is the question this story leaves behind. If God returned today, who would be walking with him? Not talking, not posting, not pretending, but walking. Enoch did not leave books. He did not build temples. He did not lead armies. But he left an eternal testimony. It is possible to please God in a corrupt generation. The story of Enoch points to something greater, the rapture, separation, and a people who do not belong to this world. That is why it still impacts hearts today. The world remains violent, corrupt, and confused, but God is still looking for people who will walk with him. The story of Enoch is not over. It echoes, confronts, and calls, because in the end, it is not about how long you live. It is about who you walk with. Enoch chose God, and God chose Enoch.